Hello everybody, this is Gregory with 5-Minute Catholic Apologetics, where 5 minutes of your time may get you to the divine. Today we're going to talk about the peak of Lenten season and really the peak of the liturgical calendar, which is the Paschal Triduum. Now before we begin, let's start with a prayer. Nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritui Sancti, Gloria Patri et Filii et Spiritui Sancti, secutora in principio et nunc et semper et saeculi saeculorum. Amen. Nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritui Sancti. Amen. All right, so the end of Lent is upon us. We are at the Paschal Triduum. Triduum means 3 days. And so I want to do a video on ways you can optimize these 3 days, because these 2 days are the highest days of the liturgical calendar. You could argue it's the highest days of Christian worship. So let's just get to it. And hopefully you had a great Lenten season. And we are still in Lent, theoretically. But Holy Thursday. So Holy Thursday is a day where you can go to Mass. And the Mass is unique because this is the day that we celebrate the Last Supper. So if you go to Mass, you're going to see the priest. Now, depending on what parish you go to and what rite you're in, Latin rite or Chaldean rite or whatever rite it is, the priest will wash the feet of typically 12 men. Some parishes will be women as well. And so you get to see this unique feature. And we celebrate Holy Thursday because for a couple of things. It is the institution of the Eucharist. If you ever do the 5 luminous mysteries that were instituted by John Paul II, you know that is one of the mysteries, is the institution of the Eucharist. So we know at the Last Supper, Jesus instituted the Eucharist. It's also the initiation or the introduction of the priesthood. He created the priesthood during that time as well. So a Mass, going to Mass on Holy Thursday is unique because it is different than other Masses in that you'll get to see the priest wash the feet of 12 people. Good Friday. Good Friday is the only day of the year where we do not have a Mass. That's not to say you cannot receive Eucharist. You can. So if you go to a service, and typically most parishes will only have one service. Good Friday is a unique day. Of course, it is a good day. It is a happy day. And you'll go into the parish, and again, this is it varies because there's so many different parishes that do different things. But as a whole, it is a day that is happy, but of course it is a day of sadness, especially from 12 to 3 when Christ is on the cross. And you'll see different cultures and different customs from different places around the world that do different things. But as a whole, we cover all the statuary. If you go into a church, if you have a home altar, go to the episode 3 things that Protestants don't get about Catholic things that we do. And one of them is home altars. You'll see the same thing done at home altars. But in terms of Mass, there is no Mass. But if you go to the service, there will be some readings. And then you'll be able to receive the Eucharist. The Eucharist will not be consecrated. There isn't a Mass, so a priest won't consecrate the Eucharist. It's going to the blessed host is going to come from the tabernacle, but you can receive the Eucharist on Good Friday. And typically during this time, and really I should have mentioned how to maximize your time during the Lenten season, but Stations of the Cross is really big during Holy Week. Holy Week goes from Palm Sunday to Easter, and certainly on Good Friday. Stations of the Cross is a way to ruminate on the passion of Jesus, and there's certain prayers you can do, and if I remember correctly, I think there's 15 stations. But Jesus takes his cross. Jesus is condemned as the first one. Jesus takes his cross. Jesus falls for the first time. Veronica wipes his face. Jesus sees Mary. Jesus is nailed to the cross. Of course, these aren't in order. But a lot of parishes, you'll see these plaques going down the sanctuary, and you stop at each one, you read the prayer, or they do it outside. There's different ways you can do it. And it's beautiful. And definitely on Good Friday, you should do the Stations of the Cross as your private devotion, or go to a church and do it over there. But you can do it, you can do it every day, right? It's really up to you. But certainly during Semana Santa or Holy Week, and certainly during the Paschal Triduum, I would do it as well. Good Friday is a day, it's the double duty day, so you must fast and you must abstain from meat. And if you don't do either of those things intentionally, that is a grave sin, and you must go to confession afterwards. Now, Holy Saturday. Holy Saturday is a weird day. And in the olden days, you would continue your fast and your abstaining from meat into Holy Saturday because Jesus is still dead. Right now, I mean, if you look, I mean, he would be in hell the higher levels of hell in the bosom of Abraham, as we used to call it, liberating the Old Testament figures like Abraham and David and so forth from, they weren't in like burning in hell, but they couldn't go to heaven until Christ died, so they were in like a higher level of good hell. This is why you see it in the Nicene Creed. He said he descended to the dead. He wasn't like hanging out and burning with people. No, he went there to liberate these people, to bring them to heaven. So Holy Saturday still is considered to be a sad day because Christ has not resurrected. And there's no morning mass. The only mass that you can go to is the most beautiful mass on the planet, which is Easter Vigil Mass. Now, Easter Vigil Mass, again, every parish is different around the world, but it's typically done at night. It's going to be Holy Saturday night. So it's really up to you. They have relaxed a lot of the kind of abstinence fasting things, but it's really up to you. If you want to continue a fast and not even eat all of Holy Saturday and do a Stations of the Cross, and again, I really don't have time to talk about like people do at home. I mean, some people there's no television, there's no music on Good Friday and Holy Saturday, because it is a sad time, certainly on Good Friday. And then you'll find, of course, people who are just already eating, feasting on Holy Saturday when really they shouldn't. It's still a day of sadness. But Easter Vigil is the only mass you can go to. There's no regular vigil mass. It is the only mass, and Easter Vigil is the most beautiful mass. Now, it is a long mass for you guys who are very economical. It can stretch. I mean, in the old days, it was several hours, and you can still find parishes where it's a good 2.5 hours. And we don't really have time to spend it because I want to try to make this video short, but typically the parish is going to be, the church is very dark, and then they light the Easter Vigil candle, and then from that candle everybody's holding candles, and you light and you just see the whole church illuminated. Of course, this is also the mass where the catechumenates become members of the Catholic Church, so all the converts that were in OCIA will eventually enter the church on this day or receive whatever sacraments by entering the church. Depending if they have baptism or whatever. So this is it's a beautiful mass. The readings, there's like 7 readings. There's tons of readings. So if you really want to see a beautiful mass, I recommend you go to a traditional Latin mass or an ordinariate mass. Even if you go to a regular suburban mass, that's fine. But I mean, if you have one of these traditionalist parishes in your area, please go to Easter Vigil Mass. Now, Easter Vigil Mass is probably going to end, 10:30. And that counts as your Easter obligation, your Sunday obligation. So you don't have to go to Mass on Easter Sunday. And then Easter Sunday, Easter morning is Easter, and we'll have a separate episode on Easter. Now, this is going to come out the Wednesday before Paschal Triduum, because I am not releasing videos during the Paschal Triduum. So you're not going to see a video Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But there will be a video for Easter. So these are just some things. So in closing, continue your fasting and your abstinent almsgiving during these 3 days. And I know some of you are like, oh my God, I haven't had coffee in 40 days. But that's not the way you want to look at it. You don't want to look at it that way. It should be more of we're in the high holy days and the anticipation of celebrating Easter, because we celebrate Easter for an octave. Really, it's a season, but the actual day, like Christmas, we celebrate for 8 days because it is more important than Christmas. That's not to say Christmas is not important, but this is the day that Christ was resurrected. But we'll cover that another time. So in closing, go to service Holy Thursday, go to Mass. It is a Mass. You can see the washing of the feet, institution of the Eucharist, ordination of the priest. Good Friday, there is no Mass, but you can receive the Eucharist, do your Stations of the Cross. It is a day of sadness. Increase your prayer. And then on Saturday, continue kind of those disciplines you've been doing on Friday. And then if you can go to Vigil Mass, go to Vigil Mass because it's gorgeous. Guys, post in the comments. Let me know if you've ever done Easter Vigil Mass. What do you like to do for Holy Thursday and Good Friday? I'd love to hear from you. Please hit the notification, subscribe, and share button. Share with other people. Until next time, take care. God bless and pray.